Good morning, Decoding the WSL fans. This is guest contributor Tom Maher here. I'm coming at you on the morning of the Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea Barclays Women's Super League match. I'm coming at you from my dog walk, you might be able to hear. My dog Bree is currently enjoying some wonderful green spaces here at the park. The freedom of the park, really, which is exactly what Robert Wilhelm isn't going to want Sonia Bonpastor's charges to have at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. It's been a tough time for Tottenham recently. They haven't won a game since the end of January, that late win against Crystal Palace. And by the end of today, they could be down to 11th in the WSL table, which, given their success last season, getting to the FA Cup final, finishing 6th, that'd be a real disappointment, I think. And it will really start asking questions, not just about Robert Wilhelm's position, but about the ambitions of the club, I think. So today's really important. They haven't won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season. They, of course, had that huge win against Arsenal last season, but this season they haven't. They've lost every game they've played against the top 4 sides. And so that really represents a difficulty that they've had this season, maybe less progress than they made last season. And of course, they welcome the champions today. Champions from Wednesday. Chelsea, crowned champions thanks to Lucy Bronze flicked header. It was a game they didn't hugely dominate, but they got what they needed to do done. And that is exactly what champions do. And this Chelsea team certainly did that. So it'll be interesting to see today how they perform. Obviously how much those celebrations might take a toll on them. But knowing Sonia Bonpastor's side, they're unlikely to show any telltale signs of that. It really has been a successful season for them. They could be the first WSL side to go unbeaten in the league this ever. And they have Tottenham away and then Liverpool at home next weekend, stand between them and doing this. They're obviously still on for the domestic treble and seemingly have put Champions League disappointment behind them. But I'm very excited for this game today, and I'll be attending the game with fellow Decoding the WSL contributor Jacob Bernstein, and obviously huge Tottenham fan. If you don't know a huge amount about Jacob, he's essentially Sam Biccarino if he was a Tottenham fan. So just what this podcast needs, really. I'm going to pass you over to Jacob. Jacob, how's your morning going?
Hello, it is Jacob Bernstein here, another co-host of Decoding the WSL. It is currently Sunday, the 4th of May. I just got off the tube at Seven Sisters and I'm walking down the high road en route to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for today's WSL game against Chelsea. This game looked as if it would carry massive significance, as a few days ago it looked like this game would give Chelsea the title if they had beaten Tottenham. But during the week there were some other results that stirred stuff up. Arsenal lost 5-2 at Aston Villa and Chelsea got a 1-0 win at Manchester United, which meant that Chelsea have already clinched the title, which means that there is a lot less riding on today's game, which could perhaps work in Spurs' favour. We've not been on the best of runs. We're 8 games without a win in the WSL. We've had a really difficult time, but there has been some recent encouragement. Again, to give some further context on my dedication to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, this is actually my 3rd visit to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this week. I attended the Spurs Women end of season event on Tuesday, and I attended the Europa League semi-final where Spurs beat Bodo Glimt on Thursday, and I'm now attending the WSL match between Tottenham v Chelsea today. 3 visits to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in 1 week is, some might call it madness, some might call it glutton for punishment, but we're back and excited for the game. Right, so we are here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We are out. It is currently 1:50, so we have 25 minutes to kick off, and I'm joined with Tom. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Jacob. Yeah, it's just sitting in here, it's a really beautiful stadium. It's just so modern. It's really one of the most one of the best places to come. We just filled our bellies with some lovely press pass food, and we're ready to go here.
I had a couple of donuts for dessert, which was very, very, very good, and ready for the game.
It was a jammy Dodger donut, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was lovely.
Sam's going to be so annoyed at us talking about donuts. So he sent us in to do a job. So basically, Jacob, I wanted to ask you, obviously a big Tottenham fan, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into being a Tottenham fan, and then specifically like the women's team?
Yeah, of course. So, well, let's say it wasn't my choice to support Tottenham. I think that's the first thing to say. No, I live in North London, and my dad and my grandpa are massive Spurs fans, so it runs in the family. I have supported Spurs since I was very young, and it was 2 seasons ago that I started following Spurs women. Actually, really random story. I was doing a job application for a football data company, and in the job application they asked me to research Spurs women as part of the job application, and I basically had to research Spurs women and come up with their best starting 11 and their 5 most influential players. And from that was what ignited my interest in Spurs women. And then last season was obviously incredible with the FA Cup journey, and I got to Brisbane Road and to Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium for the semi-final. I got to Wembley for the final, and then this year's been my first year with a season ticket. Unfortunately, it's not been the season I would have hoped for, but I've been to a lot of games and have ended up in the press box in the last couple of games, which has been an amazing experience.
Fantastic. And so tell us a little bit, take us back to last May. Obviously it wasn't the outcome that you wanted at Wembley, but what was it like to go to Wembley and feel that excitement for it?
They had DJs, they had interviews with ex-players, there were chants, they had someone playing music. It was just immaculate vibes. And you know what, I actually don't think a 4-0 scoreline against United reflected the game. They scored just before half-time at a worldie from Alatoon, and I think they scored 2 goals within the first 10 minutes of the second half, so they killed the game in a 10-minute span, and it was an unfortunate reflection on what had been a magical FA Cup journey for Tottenham.
Yeah, that special strike from Alatoon, it's just when that kind of thing goes in, you think it's going to be up against you on the day. But yeah, I suppose I wanted to speak to you as well more about what you feel with the Tottenham scene. Such a fun season last season in so many ways. I've tried to not bring it up before now, but Jacob, talk to us about what's gone wrong for Tottenham this season, and how do you amend that?
I think it's been a difficult season. I think there was a lot of promise before the season, because there was a lot of talk from the manager, from the club, on building on last season, finishing potentially higher than the 6th place finish that we did. And it started really well. We got a 4-0 win on the opening day against Palace, and that's where it peaks, to be fair. It didn't really get much better than that. We had some really difficult games against the big teams early on, and then we had a run post-February that looked favourable on paper, but we just haven't really got it together. I think Beth England's injury had a big impact. We've struggled for goals this season a lot, and that's probably our biggest problem. Beth England's our top goal scorer with 8 WSL goals, and apart from that, we've got a couple of players who've scored 2, but no one scored more than 2 goals in the WSL this season apart from Beth, so we've really struggled. I think Martha Thomas, Jess Naz, Hayley Razzo, all players that you would kind of associate with having strong attacking threat, have really struggled to convert chances, Martha Thomas especially. And we've actually had some very encouraging performances. I think most notably Leicester, even the last 2 games against Villa and Liverpool. I think we've been unlucky not to get more out of the games, and we've actually been lucky that Crystal Palace have been as bad as they have been, because we really could have been dragged into a potential relegation battle, considering how bad our form's been post Christmas.
Yeah. So if we're talking about this game here today, then how much realistically can be changed about Chelsea's season, Tottenham season, because if you beat Chelsea today, that's hope for the future. That's a strong win. Tottenham have never beaten Chelsea in the WSL, so just how much is that going to be an olive branch with the fans about Robert Villaham's future and the club's ambition as well?
I think it's very difficult to have much optimism going into this game, but I think the one thing that we can take is pre-match. I mean, going at the start of the week, I thought this game was going to be the game that would give Chelsea the title, but obviously they've wrapped up the title, so the stakes involved in this game for Chelsea are much lower. They've got the title won. They don't need to win to secure the title. So I think maybe that's the glimmer of hope for Tottenham, is that Chelsea have got less to play for. Tottenham still want to get as many points to try and finish as high as they can. And Chelsea have obviously rotated quite a bit as well. Obviously, Chelsea have still got a lot of strength in depth in their squad, but a rotated Chelsea side who have already won the league could suggest that Spurs might have a chance. And we're here at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. We saw the impact the atmosphere had on Thursday night here, so hopefully the fans will get behind the team, and that can make a difference.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day here as well. You know, not dissimilar to that semi-final victory against Leicester. You never know. You just never know. Yeah, like you said, 7 changes for Chelsea today, and no Millie Bright in the squad, no Lucy Bronze in the squad. Surely, you know, we're probably going to see some. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of Lola Brown today for Chelsea. Some youngsters getting some minutes. So it's going to be very interesting. And obviously with Bethany England against Mpome, she might fancy her chances in that 1-to-1 battle.
Exactly, and on the Spurs side, there's some more experimentation with their team. Charlie Grant is back on the wing. An experiment again from Robert Villaham. He tried it quite a few times in March, didn't quite work, but let's see if it works out today. We'll keep you updated throughout the match, and yeah.
Yeah, I remember speaking to Robert Villaham after the West Ham game about that move, and he was saying that the decision to play Grant on the wing was mainly because she played so well against Manchester City the week before, and it just didn't really work against West Ham because I think they had more control over the game in the first half than they expected to. So maybe that is going to suit them today against the Chelsea side, where last time they met, they obviously shipped 5 goals. Joanna Ritten-Kaderyd hat-trick. That was that famous ghost goal with Hannah Hampton.
And Amanda Neal then,
yes,
I remember it. Yeah.
Who's on the bench today. But so it's going to be interesting. We're really excited for it. We're just building up to kick-off here. And we'll keep you updated, like Jacob said.
Perfect, thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium, the world famous home of the Spurs. So just before kick-off then, let's run through the starting lineup, shall we? Beginning with our visitors. Goal number 24, Hannah Hampton. Number 2, the official. Number 6, Shoka Nusku. Number 8, Harry Cuthbert. Number 9, Katerina Macario. Number 11, Guro Wrighton. Number 12, Ashley Lawrence. Number 19, Joanna Ritten-Kaderyd. Number 23, Micah Hamano. Number 25, Alison Pome. And 27, Oriane Jean-Francois. And the Spurs lineup led by Robert Villaham. In goal, number 1, Lize Kop. Number 3, Ella Morris. Number 15, Claire Hunt. Number 5, Molly Bartrett. Number 29, Ashley Neville. Number 25, Evelina Superman. Number 24, Drew Spence. Number 11, Olivia Holt. Number 2, Charlotte Grant. Number 7, Jessica Ness. And our captain, number 9, Bethany England. Get behind the team and up the Spurs.
So Jacob, we're looking at Chelsea's lineup. We can see Nusken is playing at centre back, as is a bit of a surprise potentially. I mean, she can play anywhere really on the pitch, it seems. She's played centre back with Chelsea before, but she's starting with next to Lize Kop. today, and Tottenham made quite a bright start in the first minute or so, just some good territory.
Some early possession. I think Spurs set up as you would expect with Ellen Morris on the right of defence, Ashley Neville on the left, Evelina Suminen as the kind of deep midfielder, Drew Spence and Olivia Holt as the more attacking midfielders, and as we said before, Charlie Grant on the right wing, Jess Naz on the left, and Beth England up front.
Okay, Jacob, still 0-0 here with 15 minutes in. A quick temperature check, how are you doing?
Doing okay, actually. I think it's probably been a better start than I would have expected. I think there's been some good early Spurs possession. We've had a couple of nice, we've intercepted the ball a couple of times in decent areas. There was one chance down the left-hand side where Beth England got the ball, crossed it in, but Hannah Hampton was able to gather it before Charlie Grant could get a shot on. There's not been much in the way of chances for either side, but I think this probably isn't how I expected the first 15 minutes to go. How about you, Tom?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's been really good for Spurs so far. From a Chelsea perspective, I think they're being encouraged with how Mia Fischel and Katerina Macario are linking up to begin with. They've looked really, two Americans with a good understanding up at the top of the pitch. A few loose passes from Chelsea. Sonia Bonpastel won't be too happy with. Jess Naz has got involved. Up front three have all looked really good. So they are it's such a different team with Beth England in it. We've got a little break in play. I want to ask you, if you're talking about Spurs, do you need another player that's just as good as Beth England? So if she gets injured, you bring her in, or do you need a plan B of how you're going to play when she's not in? Because it feels like Spurs haven't had that this season.
Yeah, I think it's probably plan B, a better plan B. I think, as I said earlier on, it's been a very difficult season for Martha Thomas, who we all know Martha Thomas has goals in her. She had such a good start to last season when Beth England was injured, and it looked like that plan B was working. And then when Beth England came back from injury last season, the Martha and Beth duo just didn't really quite work out. Honestly, Martha Thomas has been very unlucky in front of goal. I think she's the biggest XG underachiever in the league. Yeah. She's had chances. I remember in games against Leicester and West Ham where she was desperately unlucky not to score. And we, as well as that, I said before as well, we know how much of a threat Jess Naz is going forward, but she's perhaps not been as much of a threat in games this season as we would have hoped for. But she's had a couple of good games in her last couple of games, which is encouraging.
Yeah. And why? I'm interested. Why didn't it work when Beth England came back last season and her and Martha Thomas partnered up front? What are they too similar, or?
I think it was just positionally. I think Robert was trying them out in different positions. I think there were times when Martha was dropping into it and playing more as a 10. There were a couple of times when Beth England was forced out wide as a winger, and those just aren't their natural positions. They're both 9s, and we weren't playing a 4-4-2, so we weren't playing with two 9s, and it just didn't really happen. It felt like there wasn't much cohesion between the two of them, and they were kind of taking up similar positions because they are similar positions realistically. And we tried it a couple of times this season again, but it just didn't really work out. I think that's probably one of the best chances of the game so far. Ash Neville down the left-hand side, crosses it in. Olivia Holt's shot deflected and over for a corner. We actually haven't seen much in the way of Chelsea attacking play, have we, Tom?
No, we haven't. It's I think because it's been a bit of a mixed lineup, some players coming back from injury, like Gura Rayton has only started one game since coming back from injury against Palace a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, maybe they're trying to get used to each other again, because it's not really an attacking lineup that we've seen too often from Chelsea this season, this front line. But yeah, I think just getting the ball up to them as well, it's a new midfield too. So yeah, Tottenham have a corner now. It's well swung in.
Good chance.
Yeah, Tottenham on top at the moment.
Oh dear, we are 33 minutes in and Chelsea have just... It was a pen?
I think it's a penalty, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea have got a penalty. Caterina Macario had a shot blocked and then on the second attempt got fouled by Ashley Neville. It looks like she just sticks out her foot. And yeah, I mean, Chelsea have now got a penalty 33 minutes in. What have you made of the Chelsea so far?
Yeah, we just got Cuthbert holding the ball and she's given it off to Macario. I think it was a penalty, and it's a bitter pill for Tottenham because they've been the better side here so far. So it's Kat Macario stepping up to take. It's a bit surprising when you've got Gura Wrighton on the pitch as well. I would have been expecting her to be taking this one, but yeah, Lize Kop having a few choice words for
Lize Kop approached Macario, is now going back towards her goal.
Yeah, staring her down. Referee's having a few words with Lize Kop. A hushed silence now in the stadium.
Yeah.
There's only been one penalty saved in the WSL so far this season. That was from Melina Loek for Brighton. Will Lize Kop make it 2? She won't. Kat Macario sent her the wrong way, and Chelsea have a lead against the run of play, which they're making a little bit of a habit of, aren't they, Jacob?
Scored in the 35th minute by number 9, Caterina Macario.
Yeah, against the run of play, Macario, good penalty into the left corner. Lize Kop dived to her left, but the right-hand side, Caterina Macario's right-hand side. 1-0 Chelsea. I think that's their first major chance of the game, but it's a penalty and they're 1-0 up. And yeah, it's unfortunate because I think Spurs we've looked decent, created a couple of chances and looked good in possession, but ultimately Chelsea are 1-0 up.
It's important that Tottenham just keep on doing what they're doing because it's been working for them. You know, they can't let their heads drop, and that's happened a few times this season against bigger opposition. So let's see what they can do.
In other news in the WSL today, in the early kickoffs, Everton beat Liverpool 2-0 in the Merseyside derby away from home, which is a big result for Everton, which moves them within touching distance of both Liverpool and Brighton. They're 2 points behind both of them. United and City drew 2-2 in a big game where City were 2-0 up, which would have given them a good advantage going into the last game in their push for Champions League spots. And at the moment, Leicester are 1-0 up against Crystal Palace, which means Spurs currently dropped to 11th in the table. Tom, what do you make of the other results and ongoing games in the WSL so far?
Yeah, that would be tough for Tottenham to be going 11th right now. Obviously, yeah, some big games. Liverpool just can't buy a win against Everton at Anfield, can they? It's Everton have got something over them there. It's interesting. Crystal Palace, they're only playing for pride now, but fans have come out. I think their support has been really good this season. It'd be good to see them try and fight back and give them something to cheer about before the end of the season.
And that is the chant of the game so far. On 40 minutes, Spurs were put clean through on goal. Charlie gone against Hannah Hampton, but Charlie's shot was saved by Hannah Hampton. Chance of the match for Spurs to get level. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, a bit of I think it was it a mix-up at the back for Chelsea to give Charlie Grant the ball, and she had Beth England alongside her. I just don't know if she was going to use her or not. Maybe she should have, but best chance of the game for Tottenham by far, and they should be really encouraged by the way they're playing right now. But,
it was Drew Spence winning the ball.
Another chance for Tottenham here. Olivia Holt just run down a blind alley in the box, but so much better from Tottenham. Okay, so half-time here at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. It's Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. We're delighted to be joined by Jamie Spangher. Jamie, what did you think of that first half?
I think it was an interesting first half. I do think that we all kind of expected to get to the White Hart Lane and Chelsea would really turn it on and obviously break break Spurs down in the way we expected them, but I think that you can tell the heavy rotation that Chelsea have employed, it's had its effects. I think Tottenham came out the better side in that first half. They had some really good chances. I think Ashley Neville is unlucky to give away that penalty because I think she got the better of Joanna Redding-Cannerid. And obviously a great one-on-one chance for Charlie Grant that she unfortunately blundered. But I think Spurs have been the better of the two sides, and it's unfortunate for them to be in the deficit.
And you were telling us a moment ago about Robert Villaham, and you had a chat with him earlier this week. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously was at his pre-match press conference yesterday, and I kind of asked Robert, it's interesting because on the stats sheet, as of now, there's one more goal there, but they've conceded 6 more goals than last season, and they've scored 6 less goals. And with 2 games left to play, right? Like, that's not a massive difference compared to the fact that they are 10th right now. They could drop to 11th if Leicester City beat Crystal Palace, and then last season on the converse, they were 6th. So I kind of asked him, what's the differences? Why is there such a discrepancy in the results this season? And he said, look, it's not been a good season. And rather than kind of take the lifeline I maybe threw him, he basically was very honest. And I think it's true. Spurs have really not lived up to their potential. You've seen Grace Clinton leave the squad, Celine Bizet leave the squad. Those players, I know we saw their impact last season, but I don't think we realised how much of the impact they were causing. So I think he basically said we have underachieved, we're aware of that, we need to build on that over the summer because we've got our brand of football, but if we're not winning, the fans aren't going to be happy.
Fantastic, Jamie. Thank you.
No worries. Let's see how it goes.
Thanks.
Okay, we're just back to the second half now. Still, of course, 1-0. We're a couple of minutes in now, and what do you think, Jacob? I feel like the way that Tottenham have played, if they keep on playing like that, I think there's a goal in this for them at least, maybe even a point. What do you reckon?
I'm a bit less optimistic, but I mean, we have played well. We had a very good first half. The only thing I would say is our most clinical and one of our only clinical players, Beth England, she hasn't actually had much in the way of like chances on goal. They've mainly been of note. The Charlie Grant chance was the biggest chance. Olivia Holt had a chance. So I think if a chance falls to Beth England, that's our best route to a goal.
Sure. Yeah, of course. And I suppose as the game goes on, we start having conversations about the bench, and I'm looking at Chelsea's bench now. We've got Aggie Beaver-Jones, VK captain, Naomi Girma. It's a little bit scary, I've got to say. Even looking at it written down on paper, I'd love to see some young talent come on as well, like Lola Brown. It'd be great to see her get some minutes. But yeah, let's see how the rest of these. Got 45 minutes or so to go. Let's see how it goes.
Chelsea free kick in by Macario. Oh, good chance, but Spurs clear. Spurs have got a free kick here on the 51st minute. We've seen Evelina Sumanen actually score a free kick against Chelsea in that 5-2 defeat earlier on in the season. Olivia Holt scored in the 3-2 victory against Palace in January. It looks quite far out. Is there a potential chance to score here, Tom?
Definitely. With, like you said, with the dead ball players that Tottenham have, they certainly have a chance of scoring from this angle. Looks like it's that Sumanen and that's Neville and Holt all standing over the ball at the moment. I feel like this angle's probably going to suit. They could clip this one into the box. Could suit left, but clipping this one into the box. But I feel like knowing Sumanen and Holt, they're going to have. They'll want to
have a chance. Oh, Holt stepped away from it, and Neville stepped away from it. So it's Evelina Sumanen on it.
Let's just hope it doesn't hit the crossbar, because Sumanen's had horrendous luck with the post. It seems to be her best friend or her worst enemy, maybe, Jacob, this season. But she's just stepping up now. About 25 yards from goal, maybe. Whisker wide from Sumanen.
That's
really
some effort.
Fabulous effort. Trying to beat Hampton down to her right hand side, but just whistled past the post.
That was a very good chance. It beat the wall. It wasn't on target. It was just wide of the post, but very good chance again for Spurs.
Substitution for Chelsea, replacing number 2, the official, is number 18, Vika captain.
Big chance for Chelsea as we approach the hour mark. Micah Hamano, I think it was, picked up the ball on the right hand side of the box. Left-footed curler, brilliant save from Lize Kop, and Chelsea have got a corner. What do you make of that chance for Micah Hamano?
She's got that in her locker. It's a fabulous attempt and a really, really good save. Fabulous looping attempt, cutting inside from that right-hand side of the pitch, but wonderful save from Lize Kop to keep the scores just at 1-0 as Katerina Macario picks up one of the boom microphones there to get out of the way so she can take her corner. And she lifts this one into the box. And
Ella Morris away
by Ella Morris, and Tottenham are looking to break here.
Substitution for Spurs, replacing number 2, Charlotte Grant. Please welcome number 13, Matilda Wimberg.
Spurs make their first substitution of the game. Matilda Wimberg on for Charlie Grant. Obviously, the Spurs' biggest chance of the game so far came from Grant in the first half that could have got them level. Tom, what do you make of Charlie's performance at right wing?
Yeah, I think obviously she should have done better with that chance, maybe played it to Beth England, but overall I was actually really impressed with her performance. She did really well to combine and confuse the Chelsea defence with Beth England on a number of occasions. It was a really good run for that opportunity that was found by Drew Spence. Drew Spence found her. And I think across that front line, Tottenham have been good. They've shown a lot of good movement, and it's been a bit of a potential. Well, obviously, it's going to be a weak point for Chelsea when you've got Saoirse Nusken, who's a fabulous player, but centre back isn't her favourite position, and the same with when you're playing Gura right and left back. I think Charlie Grant had the better of that.
Chelsea making 2 further subs now.
25, Lize Kop, is number 14, Natalie Bjorn. And replacing number 8, Erin Cuthbert, is number 16, Naomi Germer. Chelsea, replacing number 9, Katerina Macario, is number 53, Lola Brown. And replacing number 23, Micah Hamano, is number 33, Aggie Beaver-Jones.
So as you just heard, Lola Brown is introduced for her WSL debut. Just 17 years old. She's a huge talent with bright white hair. She's obviously played in the Champions League for Chelsea already this season, a couple of times in the group stage, and it's a really exciting moment to see where she fits in. She's just come on for Katerina Macario, and she seems to be slotting in on that kind of double pivot there area next to Nusken. But we'll see how this pans out.
Yeah, with 10 minutes to go, you've seen little in the way of attacking threat from Spurs in the second half. Chelsea have been a lot more assured, have been more of an attacking threat, controlling the game, controlling possession actually as well, because Spurs were controlling a decent amount of possession in the first half. It's hard to see a way that Spurs get an equaliser here, but all it takes is one chance. Tom, any potential of an equaliser, or do you think it's wrapped up for Chelsea?
Certainly not wrapped up just yet. I'm just seeing that Lola Brown's more out on the wing here, but rather than double pivot, my mistake. But certainly not wrapped up. These fans don't think it's wrapped up. You can hear them in the background, I'm sure. I think it just takes one chance when it's only 1-0. Tottenham have been up for it today. I think there's another goal in this game. Who it's for, I wouldn't put my money on it. I gotta say, but it could well be Tottenham. They're attacking now as well. Martha Thomas trying to put that in, but Lola Brown gets a superb block on that one.
Big double chance there for Chelsea on the 88th minute. There was 2 shots there, one from Katerina Macario, and the follow-up. Who's the follow-up from? I can't make it out.
Nusken had the 2 shots on goal, 2 brilliant saves from Lize Kop. and the build-up as well, but from Chelsea on this far side. Lola Brown and Aggie Beaver-Jones combining wonderfully. Aggie Beaver-Jones putting it one side of Ella Morris and running round the other. It was almost out of play, but not quite. She cuts it back to Joanna Ritten-Cannerid, who can't quite get a touch on the ball and direct it goalwards, but very, very. Your heart must be in your mouth there, Jacob.
Yeah, that was a big chance. I was just watching it back, and the save, the Sherka Nuskin rebound, what a chance, so close. And it was an absolutely brilliant save from Lize Kop to keep Spurs just about in the game. They've got a couple of minutes. We're just about to see how much injury time is added on. Can there be one final chance for Spurs to equalise? We shall see.
Result, but Tottenham have one last chance, even in a
Here we go. Lize Kop. Lize Kop's gone up.
Lize Kop is up there in the box. She's ready.
We're going to the 97th minute here. Oh, that's not a good ball at all. Oh. Lize Kop's still up, and that's the game. That's the game. It's a big win for Chelsea, 1-0. And more importantly, it means Chelsea are one game away from finishing the season unbeaten. Thank you for following us on our journey here at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. I've been Jacob Bernstein.
And I've been Tom Maher. Thank you.
Thank you. Post-match, I was in the mix zone and I had the opportunity to ask Lize Kop a couple of questions about the game. Hey Lisa, obviously disappointing result today. What did you make of the game? I thought we were actually had a very good performance, and you made some unbelievable saves in the second half. What did you think of the game?
I think what you say is right. I think how we play was really good. We created some chances, and I think that's really like a good performance. I think of course it's like frustrating to concede from a penalty, and they didn't create a lot of chances, and yeah, so frustrating overall, but good. Like the positive out of it, I think, is that we worked on some good things and we actually showed it on the pitch, and I think that's really good.
And speaking on the penalty, is there anything that you do pre-match to prepare for penalties? Obviously we've seen maybe Guro Wrighton take penalties for Chelsea before. What do you do to prepare?
I think you just check them, and I think you try to distract them on the pitch and to work on it and wait as long as possible, and I think that's the most you can do. And I think if you look at it, she shoots it really well, and of course it's hard, it's a 50-50, and yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Obviously a very tough loss today.